Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today we are playing with the new Chanel Les Beiges. I have the Les Beiges Touche de Teint, the Water Fresh Complexion Touch, which is this bottle here. And then I have 3 of the new Les Beiges blushes. So if you're interested in seeing that, just stay tuned. Hey everyone, so I am doing the Chanel Les Beiges, and I have, my face is different than it usually is because I have my eyes done and nothing else. Usually when I do a makeup look, I do my complexion first. It's just the way I was trained. It was the way I did makeup when I was a makeup artist. But it does make a lot of sense a lot of the time to do your eyes first so that if you have fallout or whatever, you can wipe it away. But the reason I have my eyes done and not my face today is for a different reason. It's for the complexion products. So we're going to talk about what's new. I do have the Les Beiges, the Water Fresh tint that's been around for a number of years. We'll compare it to that. We'll talk about the blushes. We'll talk about my thoughts on this new product and the blushes. There's a lot to get through. So let's first talk about the Les Beiges. This is what they're calling the Touch product. This is what it looks like. This is the little teeny brush that I will probably never use, although I think it would be good for travel, especially as an under eye. I think it would work really well as like setting powder. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So that is the product. I will take the cap off in just one moment, but it's the Water Fresh Complexion Touch. It's 0.7 fluid ounces, so it is less product. I have it in BR12. This is how it comes off. It's a pump. And next to the Les Beiges, what they would call the Water Fresh Tint, that's what the bottle looks like. So it is a smaller bottle. It'll be easier to travel with, that is for sure. And the tint is 1 fluid ounce, and I have it in medium light. So we'll see how these two match up. So first I want to say thank you to Jacqueline Jacqueline is my SA here in Chanel in Boston, and she was kind enough to get this to me right away, which I greatly appreciate. First, let's talk about what this is and the way Chanel describes it. It says that it's a first-of-a-kind, versatile face makeup formula infused with ultra-concentrated micro-droplet pigments, which is like the tint. It says a refreshing, lightweight texture, all true, and a formula that helps to keep skin hydrated and protected all throughout the day. Customizable application, pinpoint concealing, or perfecting veil of coverage for an incredibly natural, flawless finish. It says 3 times more pigment than the tint for fuller coverage and a flawless makeup look, a lightweight gel texture, 60% water, antioxidant-rich ingredients, jasmine extract, which helps protect skin from pollution and other environmental aggressors, a formula enriched in emollients such as tamarind extract, which is hydrating, leaves the skin visibly plump, and delivers a fresh complexion, not a flesh complexion, a fresh complexion that appears well-rested. Well, I could definitely use well-rested. One thing to definitely note about this new product is that it is released, to make sure I have the right amount, in 16 shades, which is fabulous. The original tint, I think they did expand the shade range, so I think there's like 8 shades in this, so you've got twice as many shades, and supposedly this is more pigmented than this. From the look of it, it looks like it may be, but it's really hard to see because the original tint has like this, it's not really frosted, but it's a little bit more opaque. This is completely transparent, so you can see through them. So let's do the first thing, and let's pump this out. Now, if you haven't used the tint before, the way that this works is that it's got like little pigments, little bubbles of pigment. And what you basically have to do is break them, and then you get the color. So let's see, we'll do the same with this. We'll pump it on the hand. If it pumps, there we go. And I think you can see 2 things. One, the Water Fresh tint is definitely more runny. Now, it is older. So, I mean, I've had this for quite some time. So maybe that's why it's so runny. I don't know. That's a possibility. But let's rub it out. So basically, what you do is you can use a brush. I use my finger. And you break all the little caplets, the little bubbles in here, and then the color comes out. And it is I think, sheer coverage. I don't think that's the tint. I don't think it actually provides a lot of pigment or a lot of coverage. Now let's do the touch. What I would say though is it gives a really luminous, very finished, kind of natural look. So it smooths everything out. It looks really beautiful on the skin. The BR12 is a much better match for my skin. I have this in medium light. Like I said, I've had this for a while. They expanded the shade range, so I'll go back and see when they restock. They're supposedly going to restock. This is not a replacement for this, at least according to Chanel. So I can find something that's more my shade. But this BR12, you can see it blends right into the skin. So it's definitely more of my shade, where this medium light has a little bit too much pigment, a little bit too much color for me. But I would say, just looking at the two and the way that they sheer out, it doesn't seem to me like this has a ton more coverage. I mean, it says 3 times the pigment. I don't necessarily see that, but let's try it on the face. So I'm gonna do one side with the tint, one side with the touch. And as you saw, this side's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a bit deeper because of the fact that I didn't have the right shade. I mean, so I'm gonna use, this is a, I forgot the name, Anissa brush, Pinnacle brush. I'm gonna stamp it out on my hand and then brush it on to my face. The one thing you'll know about this product, and I'll put some more on, like I said, it's sheer. Like it's not, it gives like a beautiful no makeup look, but if you're somebody who wants coverage, if you're somebody who wants to, you know, cover up lines or skin discoloration or anything like that, I wouldn't suggest this product. This is a product for somebody who is looking for something very light, very skin-like. I'd say like a Bobbi Brown user, and I don't mean Bobbi Brown, the product, I mean Bobbi Brown, the person, the artist, the makeup artist. Her aesthetic is very much in line with the kind of coverage that this gives. Now you can see my skin already looks, I didn't do in here because I usually use concealer in here because it's a little bit red. When I use this product, I usually use a little bit of concealer. You can see that this side of my face looks refined, right? It looks more, what's the best word for this? More diffused, like the, you know, it looks more uniform. That's the best way to say it. It looks more uniform. The skin looks a little bit airbrushed. It looks a little bit, you know, perfected. It's very pretty, but you can still see, you know, the freckles and the rosacea of broken capillaries. You can still see all of those things on my skin. So when I use this product, I generally use it in the summer. That's the first thing, because I use less makeup in the summer. And secondly, I use it when I'm looking for just, you know, a little bit of something. I'm gonna do one pump. A little bit of something, but not a lot. Because I don't feel like it's gonna give you, you know, any full coverage. So when I have problems with my skin, like when my skin is really acting up or my rosacea is really bad or something, I generally don't use this because, like I said, it's not going to really help you with any kind of coverage. Now, I try to take really good care of my skin and I try to have my skin in as best condition as I can. I just turned 50 for those of you who haven't watched me before. So, you know, I take steps to make sure that my skin is as good as it can be, but I do have rosacea. I do have skin issues. And sometimes, you know, there's just not anything you can do about that. Like you can, but it just takes time. So there's days that my skin does not look as good as I would like it to, and I tend to stay away from the tint on those days. Now, I think you can see two things already. One, as I get it in my eyebrow, one, it is much lighter than this side. And that is actually the color of my neck, you can see. I'm very pale, and I don't tan at all, so this is the right shade for me. The other shade, the tint, is actually a little bit too deep for me, but the thing is, it actually warms up my skin a little bit, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. So if I use this shade, I would use more bronzer on my face if I wanted to bronze myself up. Whereas this one, the Teint, I don't really need that because it's already warming up my skin because it's a little bit deeper. There is more pigment in this, guys. You can see that it covered more than this side did. Not a ton more, but it did cover more. And it is really, really pretty. Like it's got this, I think you can see how luminous it is. I'm not so sure that it's way more luminous than this. I just think this is maybe a better skin match. Like it's the color of my skin. So it looks better, like it fits me more. It looks like it, you know, it's the right shade, basically. Let's see, because I have a little bit on the brush. And I didn't use a lot. I just used a pump of it. So it definitely has more pigment. And I'll just go in here, try to, because yeah, that covered up the redness, which it, you know, usually this product does not cover up my redness at all. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. It's very glowy. Wow. Okay. So far, these are first impressions, guys. So I always am careful when I do a first impression because things can change. But I have natural light, although it's a very dismal day here in Massachusetts. But that looks really nice and really healthy. And like I said, the shade is the right shade for my skin. I know it looks a little light at first. First of all, on me, it does deepen a little bit as it sits on your skin. So just keep that in mind. But also because my skin is deeper on my face than it is on the rest of my body because of the rosacea, because of the redness. So when I actually match my neck and the rest of me, it's lighter. You can see my skin is actually quite light. But what happens is when you first see me on camera, without any makeup on, it looks deeper because of all the redness. When I actually match the color of my skin, it actually is quite light. So the BR12 is perfect. And I don't use any retinols or anything like that. I can't. My skin is too sensitive. So that I can't use anything that's going to lighten the pigmentation, unfortunately. I do lasers, but I haven't done lasers in the last couple of years because I haven't gone into an office, but that's coming. All right, so I think that looks really beautiful on the skin. I used less of it than I used of the Les Beiges on just the half of my face. Yeah. Now there's not a lot of product in this. It's 0.7 ounces and it is expensive, but I will tell you that's a beautiful finish for a natural skin look. It does not cover everything. You can see there's broken capillaries here. There's some redness on my chin. That, you know, the redness here I think is, you can see a little bit of it, but not a ton. Yeah, I think that looks phenomenally good. And I really like the shade, the BR12. What I would do is, I'm going to see if Les Beiges, when it comes back out, if it has a lighter shade in it. But I got to tell you guys, I don't know if I would pick up another Les Beiges tint now that I have this, because I think I like this more. It has a little bit more coverage than the Teint does. You could see, because when I put it over this side of the face, it added some coverage to this area. So it definitely can be used over things to like take out a little bit of redness, pigment, pinkness, whatever it is. But I think that worked extremely well. And this would be great to travel with because it's so tiny. I could literally fit this in a travel bag because it's less than an ounce. What do you guys think? I mean, tell me the truth if you don't like it, but I'd love to hear. But I think that looks really nice. I'm going to have to compare it to the Chanel No. 1 foundation, because the Chanel No. 1 foundation also has like a very light and glowy look. I think it reminds me of that, but I'll do a side-by-side coming up. This is just first impressions. Okay. All right, so let's try the blushes. I'm going to use a little of my Emile Cordon. This is the lip balms I've been talking about. I love these things. If you haven't seen them, they come in these little pots. There's a lot of lip balm in here, guys. Like, I don't know if I'll go through one of these in a year because there's a lot of lip balm. It's like half an ounce. They're big. It's almost as much as the Les Beiges. And this one is French pear, and it smells fabulous, but like not too strong. It's just really elegant. And it's kind of like an aromatherapy because you can, smell it while you're, it's just really nice. Anyway, sorry, but I love that product. All right, so let's talk about the blushes. That's settling in very nicely, by the way, and just feels very comfortable. I'll leave it like this for now because I know this side looks a little bit warmer because I've got the light medium light underneath it, but that's okay because I'll tan up this side a little bit with some Chanel Les Beiges powder. All right, so let's talk about the blushes. So the thing about the blushes is that it's the same formula, if you will, as the Teint and the Touch, where you've got these suspended, I don't know what you call them. What did they call them? Micro droplet pigments. That's what they call them. Natural, healthy looking, lit from within glow. Okay. So the issue is going to be, right? These are 0.5 fluid ounces, by the way. I picked up 3 shades. I picked up warm pink, light peach, and light pink. So I picked up the lighter shades. There's definitely deeper shades to try. The issue is going to be that if you put this on your face, like you would put a cream blush on your face, you're going to have to break up the micropigments on your face. So I would not recommend that. So I don't do that with the Teint or now with the Touch. I put it on the back of my hand, I mix it, and then I use the brush. So I think that that's what we need to do with the blushes. And not everybody's going to love that. So let's try the warm pink first. What I mean by that is it's not just like a powder brush you can just put on your face, or a cream blush you can just use your hand, or a brush. You're going to have to put it on your arm, on your hand, on a palette. Let's just do one pump. And then you're going to have to break up those little droplets to make the color. Now, again, I'm not saying that's bad. I don't mind that. As a makeup artist, I often mixed colors anyway. Like when I was creating a lipstick, I often like put a bunch of lipsticks together or lip gloss. Same with blushes and complexion products, because a lot of times you're working on people and frankly, you don't have the exact right shade. So that's warm pink. So yeah, so I'm okay with that. But for those of you who don't like to do that, you're going to have to do that to break up the droplets. So that's, I don't know if everyone's going to love that. This is light peach. Let's put it, and I'm just using a drop of it because this is for my, this is for my hand. So my arm, that's light peach. The first one was warm pink, light peach. And then the last one should be light pink. Yes. Now, I have heard, I haven't tried them yet, so this is, like I said, this is first impressions. I have heard that the pigments don't show up that much on the face, and they're not going to be as deep as they are when you put them on your arm, which may be true. We're about to find out. So again, this is warm pink, light peach, light pink. And just looking at the shades, this one's my favorite, which is the warm pink. I think that's a really nice shade. The pink, the light pink is also really, they're all nice, but I mean, this is what I like. So I think what we should do is we should try this on the face. Let's try the lightest shade first. I'm going in, this is a Rose and Ben brush. I forget the number of this brush. I use this brush a lot, if you've noticed, if you've watched my channel before. I use it for like powder products. I use it for cream. I've used it for lots of things. And it's a really great brush. The C41, that's what it is, C41 brush. I think Pat McGrath used this brush in some video or something. Okay, so let's go with the light pink first. And I will put another drop on my hand. I will mix it in. You can see that I did that. And I'm gonna take this brush and let's just see what it does. Now I'm pouncing it in instead of like sweeping, because I really feel like if you don't do that, you'll lose it. Because if you sweep this, I think you're gonna lose the shade, because like I said, this is a very light product, mostly water product. And by pouncing it, I think you're gonna get the best look with it. Now that is a very light, very natural look on me. And I told you the shade that I am in foundation in Chanel is a BR12, which is the rose. So you can see how that looks on me. That is a very light, natural looking, I'd say lit from within. I don't disagree with that. So what I would say about this product is that it gives a very natural, no makeup kind of look. It just gives a nice pinky glow, but I think you can see it's a very light pigment. I don't think this is going to even show up on somebody with a deeper skin tone. And the thing about cream blushes, and this is going to be different because this is water-based, so we'll see. I don't know if this will stay. Like, I don't know if this will disappear on the skin. You know, that's the thing. Okay, let's try the warm pink as like almost like a contour and see what that does. Okay, so we'll take the warm pink, putting it on my arm, wiping off the brush. All right, let's try. Do it on the other side. And as you can see, I'm kind of going like a little bit underneath, trying to get it almost like a contour, like an 80s contour. Yes, back in the 80s, we used blush to contour our faces. I don't really do contour, it's a little different. So that's definitely deeper, and you're gonna get more of a, you know, like a pigment there. But I don't think it looks like a drastically different color. I just think it's deeper. And I think it's actually very pretty. And I think that warm pink will show up on more folks. Now this is the light peach. And again, this is the light pink. You can see it's, as it wears down, as I use the brush in it, it's very, very light. So if you're interested in the cool pink shade, I think this is the one for you. But it's really, really light, and I think this is gonna disappear. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'll do an update to tell you what it's like in a couple of hours, because cream blushes do sort of disappear throughout the day. One way to keep a cream blush is like put the cream blush on and then put a powder over it. That works. But we can see what this does. I'll leave it on all day and we'll see what this does. But the light one might kind of, depending on whether your skin eats cream foundation and cream products, cream blushes, we'll have to see. This light peach, I think, is a little bit more pigmented than the light pink. Very pretty, but again, that peach shade. And this warm pink I really, really like. It's almost like a brownie pink. I think that one's gonna be my favorite. The three other shades, they were definitely deeper, and there was I'll put the names down below because I don't have it in front of me right now, but because they kind of disappeared off the Chanel site. So I think it was like warm coral or bright coral or something. That one looked really pretty to me, but I wasn't able to go into the store and I thought it would be too bright. Now looking at this and how this works, I actually think that would be fine. The deeper shades, the really deep shades, I think would be too deep for me because I am very pale. But the coral shade I think actually would work really nicely. But the light peach, light pink, I think is perfect if you're looking for what I often do, and I admit, like, is I don't really want to look like I'm wearing makeup. I just want to look better. I would do the touch, the pink, a little bit of lip gloss and some mascara and run out the door kind of thing. So if you're one of those people, I think, like me, I think the light pink is great. But if you're looking for pigment, if you want it to look like blush, I think the light pink might be a little bit too light. So let's see how this wears and see what we think. But I have to say, guys, at the moment, I really love the way this looks. Again, I'm 50. I like things that look luminescent and dewy and healthy. I need that for my skin. My skin is dry and it is older. So this, I think, is fantastic. But if you don't like kind of a no makeup, light makeup, dewy look, this might not be for you. For me, I love it. And I have to say, if you haven't watched my channel before, I was a Chanel makeup artist for a number of years. And I have to say, the Chanel looks that I did with the makeup that I had from Chanel was definitely heavier than this. The foundations we had back in the day, and frankly, most of the products were more, I don't want to say heavy. They were just more, there was just more. This is just more. It was the 90s. You know, there weren't really a lot of complexion products that were light and dewy. That just wasn't the look. So I really like this, and I think it looks beautiful on me. And I like the no makeup quality of it. But again, that's not everybody's look. So you know, what I have on my eyes, the only thing I have on my eyes is the Chanel Oversized Powder in Deep and the Chanel liner in Blackwood and Chanel mascara. That's it. That's all that's on my face. So this is an all Chanel look. In fact, I will pull out, this is the Chanel Deep. It's a little too deep for me. It works really well as eyeshadow, but I can use it as bronzer. I just have to be very careful with it. And I'll tell you, I actually have been thinking of picking up the light in this product, even though the light is too light for me, but it's a limited edition product, and I feel like I need to get the light because I'm not really sure why I want to pick it up. Maybe a little bit of FOMO, I don't know. But also because on the days that I have this light pink, the light pink blush that I had on at first, you know, maybe I don't really want to look like I have bronzer on. I just want to warm up my skin because, as we saw, the BR12 in this is definitely lighter than the tint that I was using. So if I just wanted to warm up my skin, I could use this product, but in the light, and just warm up my skin a little bit. Or am I just like trying to talk myself into it? I don't know. I did try the light in the store when I was in Italy, and it didn't do much to my skin. It just it didn't do much. And you know, for the expense, I was just like, I'll get the medium and the deep. But now I'm rethinking it and like, maybe I should get the light. And I'm thinking I should get another dry oil because I love that so much because it sinks right into the skin, which is amazing. And it doesn't really look like shimmery inside, but outside you can see it. It really looks nice. So because they're all limited edition, I'm thinking about going back and buying them. You let me know what your thoughts are, and I'm in the process of making up my mind. But anyway, let's just talk a little bit about today. So really, guys, I really like this new product. The Touch, I think this is really good. I think some people are going to be annoyed at the size because it's 0.7 ounces and it's not, Chanel's never cheap. For me, I really like this because I travel, or I will be. I used to travel all the time, going back to that now. So this is a really nice product to travel with because it's less than an ounce, so I can stick it in overnight, which is great. I really think it gives a beautiful finish. And that's not me, if you haven't watched me before, that's not me saying that because I used to work for Chanel. Trust me, there's been Chanel products that I've said are terrible. This one's really good. I really like that. I think it gives enough coverage. It's more than the tint gives. And I like the fact that the shade is perfect for me because it's BR12, which is, they have more shades. They have 16 shades with different undertones. The tint only comes in like light, medium, you know, it doesn't have like the actual shades. They just say light, medium, light, that type of thing. Deep, whatever. Which is, and there's only, I think there's only 8 now. I think in the beginning there was like 5. But anyway, you still, you know, it's difficult to find your shade in that. So I think that's how I ended up with one that was a little too deep because I think I bought it when I actually did have some color to my skin. And I've had that one for a while because they've been out of stock for the longest time. And the blushes, look, I like this look. I think this looks really natural and really healthy, But two things to note. One, I'm very pale, so these types of things are going to show up on me. And two, it is very much a lit from within, wow, a lit from within, dewy, glowy look. It's not a pigmented blush look, which again, I prefer. I prefer blushes that are more luminescent, glowy, not really super pigmented. One, because I'm pale, and two, because I just don't really, that's not really my look. My look tends to be a little bit more subdued, frankly. So yeah, I like this look. I haven't tried the light peach yet, but I will. I'll make sure I do that. And if I can get into a store and try the other shades on my skin, I'll see if they're going to be too deep. The two deepest ones, they look too deep from what I saw. But the coral one, which I cannot remember the name, I'll have it down below. I think that one might work because the warm pink was deeper, and it certainly is not too deep on my skin by any means. It looks great. So I think this is a really pretty, healthy, but polished look. I would go to work with this. I would view this as, you know, this is definitely awesome for like a Zoom meeting. Yeah, I just think it looks really beautiful. I have to say, I think it makes my skin look great. I'm surprised. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't think I was going to like the blushes. I'm just going to be blunt. I kind of was like, great, micro pigment blush, like, because I loved the Teint product, because I've used this for a very long time, and I do think it makes your skin look really healthy and glowy, so I've always liked that. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't quite find my shade, but I always liked the product. So the Touch product I was really interested in, so this one I was like hoping I would love, and I do. But the blushes I was kind of like, well, I'm gonna have to mix it, and then how am I gonna put it on my face? You know, like all those things. I don't like messy. I do not like messy. But this does look beautiful on, in my opinion. So, love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear what you think, whether you're gonna pick any up. Again, I'll try the light peach soon. Maybe my next video, I'll make sure I wear it or I put it on or whatever. Yeah. I'm surprised. This brush, I know I didn't try it out for you guys today, but I have to tell you, like, this is not a brush I'm going to put foundation on with. I mean, if you see the size, like this, this is not going to work. I guess if it was like I was somewhere and I just didn't have a brush, like I could, but this is for spot, like you could put it around your nose very well. Like that works great. Under your eye, that's perfect. But as a whole face, no. This is for touch-ups or for, you know, spot correcting or under the eye powder or something like that. And I actually do like it for that. It's very soft. But for anything else, no. So I'll make sure there's an update about how it wore on my skin. Usually what I do is try to take a picture of like 5 or 6 hours later. I usually post it on Instagram so you guys can see it over there, just to kind of show you how it wears in like real natural light. I'm in natural light now, but I mean like outside, and you know how it looks. So I'll try to do that, remind myself to do that. I'll set a timer or something before the sun goes down so you can see it. But I gotta say, guys, right now, first impressions only, I'm very impressed. I really like the products. I know I'm sounding like, so I'm just surprised. So I think they look great. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.